Hello and welcome to the Getting Eddie's podcast. Today is episode 14 and I'm joined by Shaun Jones. Shaun, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. We are live.
Yeah. So
Let's get a little flexion there.
Yeah, for YouTube people, they'll be able to see that. For anyone who's listening through Spotify or Apple, Shaun was just flexing.
Yeah.
So, man of many talents. Fitness industry, owning a gym, singer, songwriter, rapper, a father, a mentor, a bit of a mastermind behind it all. Where did it all come from? So start with a fitness journey first.
Oh, the fitness journey. It's a long journey. I was always into martial arts as a kid. I mean, you know that. It was obviously watching Bruce Lee films, Jackie Chan films, Jet Li films from back in the day, going to karate, kickboxing as a young kid, just really falling in love with martial arts. And I mean, to really shorten the story, it wasn't until it was about 15, I'd say 16, and I was going to kung fu and kickboxing, and I used to be really good. I got to brown belt, and so I was really good technically, but because I was only a smaller kid at the time and I was a little bit undersized, I was only skinny. All the people who were my grading, all the people who were brown belts, purple belts at the same time, were all men, were fully grown men. So I was like this 14, 15, 16-year-old kid sparring and fighting and grappling against late 20s, mid 30s, sometimes, early 40-year-old men. So I just always felt like undersized. And then with me uncle owning a gym and being into bodybuilding, Mr. Universe, like having a bit of experience working at his gym and training and stuff, it just kind of married up nicely. So so I knew that the training would help me strength a little bit and be able to, help me compete with the fellas a little bit more. So I've got the technique. I just need a little bit more size and strength. Now, the size and strength didn't come because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But that was the seed. It was the being undersized in martial arts and the love for my martial arts that helped me embark on my fitness journey. And yeah, so then it was just a matter of just falling in love with it. And then before you know it, you start going down the rabbit hole and learning about bodybuilding, and you're buying the magazines, trying different workouts, and then learning about different techniques. And then next thing, I'm teaching those techniques to my friends in the gym and feeling that I've got a knack for the coaching element. And I'd already done a bit of coaching within martial arts as well. So I taught, I would sometimes step in for the kickboxing coaches. I'd run the warm-ups. I taught a few kids classes, and I just really enjoyed the coaching element. So I think in the back of my mind, I always knew that I wanted to be involved in fitness or martial arts. And skipped a step actually. I've always wanted to be, since watching the Bruce Lee films, Jackie Chan films now, I always wanted to be a fight scene choreographer or a stunt coordinator. I just like to be able to create stunt scenes and fight scenes. I used to do it. I used to get my friends round and we'd get the webcam on and record fight scenes in my house, and I'd choreograph it all. So it was all that really.
So where did the martial arts and stuff come from then? So in school and stuff, were you constantly in trouble and fighting and stuff, or was it just outside? You just loved that side of it? Because a lot of people who are into martial arts and stuff may have got bullied in school, and that's the only way they got to defend themselves. In a way, was that the thing, or?
Yeah, I was never in trouble. I was always a good kid in school. Like, I had good parents for the most part. They, raised me well, raised me to be well mannered and all that. If anything, they raised me too well. I wasn't aggressive enough, I believe, back in the day. So yeah, when I was a kid, I was already into the martial arts. I was already into the the kung fu films and that. But yeah, I would get picked on in school. I wouldn't say I was overly bullied, but there's definitely that little side of me where I think, oh, do you know, if I could just go back and just give him a crack. My problem was that I was always afraid of getting into trouble with the teachers. And I really just wish my parents at the time would have just said, Shaun, it's okay if you get put into detention. That's okay. Freaking kill that kid. I just wish they would have said that, because yeah, it was a little bit picked on, and I had like a couple fights in school which I dominated, by the way. But I
2-0.
yeah, I remember my first little altercation in school. It was quite funny, actually. This kid, we were in cookery. Do you ever remember you do cookery in school? Yeah, baking the bread and that. And
Telling them the day before that you need all the ingredients.
yeah. And the bread had always come out looking crap as well. You wouldn't want to eat it. It smelled nice, but you wouldn't want to eat it. Yeah, and a kid, I can't even remember what we were arguing about. And I said something back to him, and he grabbed me. And I remember grabbing his arm, and I've done like a proper friggin' Krav Maga type move on him. I had his arm twisted and pushed him up by his chest. And do you know the tall stools that you'd sit on like in science
wooden
class?
stools.
The wooden ones with the hole in the middle.
Yeah, middle of one.
He went flying and almost did like a backflip over that, and everyone just started laughing at him, like, and I was laughing my head off. And then the teacher came over and split it up before anything was made of it. And then for about a month after that, it was like, are you and so going to have a fight? And it was like made into this big thing, and we didn't, because it was okay in the moment, but then I got scared that I was going to have a fight with him. I've just like I knew I could have dominated them, but I was always just afraid of like getting into trouble as a kid.
Anxious feeling, isn't it? Where you know there'd only be one winner in it, but it's that afterthought of what if after.
Yeah, where I had like I'm the only other fight as well was like with a former friend. Excuse me, I just had a Pepsi. He was from Saudi Arabia, and he was thick as hell. Like, he was just absolutely jacked, and he was 15, just a big head, big massive head, and dead thick. His forearms were massive and that. He dissed my girlfriend at the time. So I was like, let's have a fight. So we had a fight after school, and I'd done a front kick to him in the chin twice, and then hit him with 4 punches and broke his nose, and I felt terrible. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, and he was crying and all that, and it was like the news of the school for a while, but then it just like people forget about it dead quick and all that. And but so like I didn't mind doing it outside of school, but I was always just afraid of getting into trouble in school. So yeah, I was picked on here and there, and I do wish I would have just give him a little elbow when I had my opportunity. But you know, I stood up for myself here and there. Just wish I would have fought more in school.
Do you know what? I did a very, very similar thing, fought with a former friend. And I remember it said something about my cousin. I think he was going with her at the time. Yeah. And they had an argument, and if I'm right, he grabbed her arm or something. And we were walking back to her house because my mum was there. And I just lost my head. And I only hit him once. Okay. But because he dropped, I got scared and I ran home.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. But I obviously ran to my cousin's house, and I went home and told my mum straight away. I was like, Mum, I've just hit him. And she was like, why? And I explained, she went, that's okay. And I was like, what have I done? Why did I run all the way home for no reason? Doing this good half-mile run. I was out of breath getting up to the top.
Yeah. You do when you're a kid, like, you're so innocent. And I just think, like, at me, that's one thing I can't wait to teach my kids. Say, like, you know, it's fine if you get into detention. Nothing bad's going to happen. But you're taught in school that, like, the school, that's everything. If you get bad grades, if you're a bad kid, you know, you're going nowhere in life. And that's what I was always afraid of, just because I was brought up like as a nice, well-mannered, well-behaved kid. So the martial arts was always, for me, just like, it was like a hobby and a passion that I loved doing, but it never, I was never really thinking of it as like, I can't wait to go out and fight people. It was never that. I just loved the friends that I made in it, the skills and the discipline and all that stuff that's a byproduct of it, really. And it becomes your hobby. I was never into football either. That's what I was mostly picked on for, is that I wasn't into football. And then when people go, what are you into then? I'd be like, fighting. And it's like, and they didn't get it. It was like, you wasn't manly or you wasn't popular if you wasn't into football.
Yeah, of course.
And I even believe that people still have that mentality a little bit these days. It's like, if you're not into football, oh, you're not a man. We were, sorry, I'm going on a little bit here, but it was a while back. This stuff sticks in my head. Me, Chris, and Phil were going out for a few drinks, and we were in the taxi going to get Phil. And the taxi driver said something about footy, and I went, "Oh, I'm not into it." And honestly, he flipped out. He's going, "Why, you're not into footy? Oh, what sort of faggot are you?" And started swearing and all that. What sort of man isn't into footy? And I was like, I'm into fighting, you know, a real man's sport. So I started saying that. I was like, I'm into fighting, a real man's sport. None of that pussy shit. Oh, wait, that's swear, by the way.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
It's unedited. It's no filters. Go for it.
Yeah. It's like, none of that pussy shit. And it's like, I've got this, like, no offense, but a fat fella sitting there with a big beer gut saying that you're not a man if you're not into footy. And then when he asks what sport are you into, and I'm like, fighting and MMA. Footy, yeah. It's freaking so close-minded. It's like close-minded. It's mad. It's just like you're not allowed to like any other sort of sport. To some people, that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate people like that. They're close-minded. You've got to like
narrow-minded.
What?
Narrow-minded.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You see more these days people who don't like football.
It's just
because of obviously loads of different rules are changing and people are going off it. It's getting too political anyway. To be honest with you, personally, I've lost a lot of interest in it. And for me now, if someone said to me, right, well, would you rather see a UFC event or the Champions League final? I'd probably go with the UFC event.
Yeah,
as long as it's on UK time, because I remember going to watch Bisping against Henderson in Manchester, main event 5:45 in the morning.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I was so we had a box. So I won a box with work. I was working for John Lewis, and there's 2 tickets. I already had tickets for the front row. Spent a couple £100, got tickets, and then I won this ballot. So we had the box view instead.
Nice.
I remember there was a little waiter come out with a pizza for me and my mate, and it was 5:45 in the morning, and Bisping's song came on, and I was sleeping. I don't think I've seen much of the fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It was a good fight as well.
Yeah, and anywhere else in the world, Bisping loses that fight, and that is true, unfortunately. So going on to the gym, obviously stepping forward a little bit, you now own a gym, but what was it like? Did you ever want to own a gym? Obviously, you mentioned your uncle with Mr. Olympia. Where did that come about?
Yeah, I think I always remember being on my PT course with Tom in the gym. So me and Tom done our course together originally. And I think just like the love for training, like just naturally would always make me think, oh, it'd be amazing to have your own gym. And then when I started personal training, I remember on the course speaking like to the PTs who were doing the course and saying, oh, be boss, one day we'll have our own gym. Oh yeah, when we all become PTs, we'll all get a gym together. And I think it was just like a natural thing back then. And then we're talking like 10 years ago. So there wasn't really many independent gyms. It was all like the big box gyms, then the odd bodybuilding gym. There wasn't really that many PT studios or things like that. So I think it was just a natural thought. Like, and then you'll make loads of money and you won't have to do much and all this. And like, yeah, I don't know. It was just a love. Honestly, if I was to go back and give myself advice now, I'd maybe even steer myself in a different direction with regards to getting a gym. But at the same time, I don't regret getting a gym. It's just you don't realize you're just ignorant to the work that has to go into stuff. And you think, yeah, it'll be fine. You get this gym and and then everyone's sound, and then you get on with it and you make loads of money. And then when the reality hits, it's like, oh shit, I've got to do more work than ever and put all the profits aside and wait a few years to get profits. Oh, and then you've got to try and please 15 people. And then you get 10 members in, but 10 leave. Oh shit, wait, this is hard. So it was always a natural little dream for me. But so it was never something where I got it and then it was like, oh my God, I've got a gym. It was just kind of like, oh, right, okay, let's look at the lease. Oh, let's look at a place. Oh, this is good. Oh, let's look at the lease. Oh, this is good. Oh, let's sign that. Okay, cool. Oh, right, now we need equipment. And it was like we put one foot in front of the other until 6 years down the line, you're like, oh shit, like I've got a gym. Like, because it happens so fast and you've just got to only focus. There's never one big, and because we opened it with barely any money, it was like, we just had to open the building and then graft as hard as we could. So there was never any sort of moment of like celebration of like, oh my God, none of that. It was just like, keep going. So I know I went off on a tangent there, but yeah, that's the journey of the gym in a nutshell.
How did you? Well, I know, but for anyone who might not know, how did you cope through the last 12 months, 18 months through lockdown. Obviously, a lot of corporate gyms and stuff like that just closed. And I don't know financially how the PTs and stuff were able to do their stuff. But obviously, I understand because obviously I work with you, for you, with you.
Because you're your own boss.
Yeah. But how did you cope, and how tough was that for you then, still running a gym, but Boris on the other hand telling you can't open?
Oh yeah, that was tough. I think I was saying it for quite a while to a lot of people, and this probably applies for you, probably applies to the other PTs, is I don't think we really realized how tough or how stressed we were until after it. And I've had a lot of experience in my time within the fitness industry and within business to know that that's a fact. Now you convince yourself that you're not stressed when something quite stressful is happening, and you believe it. Nah, no, I'm not that bad. But then when you're out of it, you go, wow, now that I don't have that weight on my shoulders, I didn't realize how much that was weighing me down. But yeah, it was a bit of a mad one, because for the space of 5 years of opening the gym, we were pushing the groups, working with different mentors, spent so much money on mentorships, and it's a big part of my life is wanting to invest in myself and invest in my business, and challenge myself, be uncomfortable, try new things. If this doesn't work, cool, move on to the next thing. I love that. And so we were like, right, okay, these groups, it's not the work that you've got to put in versus the profit just isn't quite worth it. Okay, and then just a few other circumstances with having a baby on the way, we were like, you know what, let's stop these groups. I also thought about stopping the group training part of the gym every single day for 5-6 years. It's just I didn't do it. So because this is another thing as well. This is a little branch off the current topic tree that we're on right now, little branch going off. We're often told, don't quit. And especially in this self-development world, to the point where then it's like, even if you're not passionate about something, you're seeing all this messaging, say, don't quit, never give up, and all this, push through, delay your gratification. So then it's like, okay, I'll continue this thing because I don't want to quit, but I'm not passionate about it. So I would have stopped the group sooner, because it was just like, this isn't really the best way of making profits. I can do it in a better way. But anyway, yeah, so I eventually got to the end of me tether with it. I was like, yeah, let's stop this. Let's turn it into a PT facility. And then literally we stopped the groups, and then went bang, lockdown, COVID. So it was like, shit. So we had a bit of debt to pay off as well from the groups. We still had employees to pay for 2 or 3 months after lockdown. And then it was like, boom, all the income was gone, and we were in lockdown. Obviously, we had the self-employed PTs who basically helped us keep going. We had a little bit of savings ourselves to keep the gym going. But yeah, it was just pure survival mode. And that's why. But we're here now. If it happens again, oh my God, I don't even want to know what
it'll be an outrage. It'll be riots if it happens again.
Oh, I think it will. Yeah.
I honestly think they'll go absolutely mental with it.
Yeah, I think people should rebel as well, completely. It should just stay open. It happens in a few places in the world. I know a few places in New Zealand where were rebelling, or was it Australia?
Yeah.
They just stayed open and were just completely didn't care about it. So yeah, it was tough. I was drinking every single night, and I wouldn't even say in an alcoholic manner, even though okay, it kind of is. It was more so out of boredom and being unstimulated mentally. So
Restless.
not being, what, sorry?
A little bit reckless with it, just like, nah, it's not.
Just sitting it, just literally right here like that with my whiskey glass, boom, boom. A few glasses of whiskey a night, but yeah, it's just a bad habit, and so I haven't had a drink now since January, but yeah, it's just I escape. I go into escapism mode. I need to move forward. I hate being lazy. I don't want to be lazy, but when your whole vehicle is shut down, it's like I had all these ideas, and then even trying to build stuff throughout lockdown, I've done so, but I was still limited because I still had to be concerned with the gym, and police showing up, and then this person ringing us and that person, and then so trying to juggle everything mentally was hard. to
Yeah.
say the least.
And to be fair, the last was over the Christmas period, when we were doing PT sessions outside in the rain, and the amount
Oh
of
yeah,
PT sessions that I owed clients when we reopened was horrible. But
I
on the other
know.
hand, I was very thankful every single one of them for staying with me, because each and every one could have gone, nah, not gonna happen. I'm not gonna do kettlebell swings in your garden, mate. Not a chance.
I know.
But
I also like. I really didn't want to like close either. I really didn't. I wanted to be that one to go, nah, fuck the government, let's rebel and that. But it got to that certain point when it was like, I'm gonna say, you get like a 10 grand fine, and it just shuts our whole operation down even more. And then there won't be any new equipment or any gym investments coming for quite a while. And I just wanted to just survive it, get out of it, and then get back on track, as opposed to taking unnecessary risks. And like, this is when a few PTs have even said to me in the past, oh, I've lost money. And I'm like, so what? Everyone's lost money. Every single person's lost money. I think people aren't used to like losing money. And I think, when you're owning your own business, it's not a linear path to success. It's not just like every single month you're earning more and more and more. There's going to be some months, even when the economy is booming, there's going to be some months when you have 5 clients that leave just randomly, and you're down a little bit. So I think, that adversity, it toughens us up a little bit. Well, it toughens a lot of people up who might have needed it.
yeah, no, I can't agree more.
Yeah.
And through lockdown, really, you came out and you made a YouTube. You started releasing a lot of songs that you've been doing for the last 10 years. Am I right? 10, 12 years.
I've been making music for since I was 14. So I'm 32 now, 33.
Yeah, and they seem to have gone off a little bit. To be fair with you,
Yeah.
you got celebrities from all sides of the world retweeting and sharing a couple of songs that you made.
Yeah. Well,
So where's the music come from? What's with that? Because if you're watching Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, then
it all stems back to a similar time as the Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee stuff. I was always, I remember, like, I was just always into poetry. Like, English was one of my favorite lessons when we do poetry. I just really enjoyed it. Anytime that we used to have to write our own stories in English, I used to love it. And I even remember back in junior school, we had to do something like write out a story or something. And the teacher wrote a letter to my mum and said, this, like, the imagination and like creativity that Shaun has expressed. Like, I don't know, about year 5 or year 4 or something. I've never seen anything like it. And I always just remember loving English and loving storytelling, loving poetry, that type of stuff. I remember standing up and reciting my poem in English. We all had to kind of stand up and recite it.
yeah,
And the teacher, Mr. McCormick, his name was, he was completely emotionless, and he was an absolute madman. He was just crazy and always miserable. And he made me recite my poem. And after I finished it, he went, now that is how you write poetry, and got everyone to clap for me. And I remember feeling this little sense of pride. I was like, oh God. And around the time of doing that, I was just, constantly listening to Eminem, Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, Big Punisher, MOP, all the Run DMC. You remember, it's like that, what? It's just the way it is. That song, and it's trigger to rock around. That's right, on that
yeah.
tune. And playing Tony Hawk skateboards and the soundtracks on that. I used to just love the hip hop. And then that just kind of, with the poetry and then enjoying hip hop, it just, once again, naturally aligns up of me writing my own lyrics and writing my own raps, and then finding some beats online back in the early days of, remember using Kazaa? Do you ever remember Kazaa?
Now LimeWire.
LimeWire, sorry, yeah, that's it. Was, I think it was LimeWire, then switched to Kazaa, or the other way around. But LimeWire, download beats from LimeWire,
Yeah,
and then I'd try and write to it, and then I'd have a webcam like this, not obviously this good, like, but, and I'd turn it round to face the wall and just use the audio and rap, and it was terrible. It was so bad. But I just loved it, and I just did not stop. And it's the way some people journal, and the way some people, write and blog and whatever to express themselves, or even go to therapy. It's like music literally is my therapy. It wasn't until I stopped it when I became a PT, because I was focusing on business so much, that I realized how much I need it in my life, because that's why I enjoy doing stuff like this, because it's a fantastic opportunity to always just get stuff off your chest and communicate and talk. But sometimes if you're in this mode that we're in right now and you're sitting there by yourself and you can't vent, it's like, what do you do? For me, I have the outlet of music. So yeah, that takes us to now. And I just thought to myself, wait there, I've got all this business knowledge. I'm going to start pushing it a little bit, because I don't need a label to do anything. I can do it myself. I can fund it myself. And I don't want to turn 40, 50, 60 years old and say, I wish I'd done that, or I regret stopping, because I regret stopping when I was 22, 23, 24. So I know now, especially with the life experience, now I'm more mature. If I stopped again, I'd hate myself. I would hate myself. And I'd be that old man in the pub like that. I used to rap. I used to go to the gym and rap. And like just talking about what you used to do rather than what you've accomplished. So yeah, that's the music story.
You can be a 60-year-old man who owns the pub, playing his own rap music now with a bench in the front.
Listen to this bit. Listen to this bit. This is me. This.
Yeah, but one thing I kind of can't get my head around, and you can explain a little further. How do you find time for everything? Because you've got the gym, you do your music, you got a family, you got your things with a mentor and stuff as well. How do you find time? Because a lot of people who, I mean, they work 9 to 5, but I mean they're busy. They can't do anything else. They only work. I mean, only work, but they only work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But
loads of, like, I know, but like, I don't think it's not an impressive, because most people just waste loads of time. They really do. Like, it's just obviously you prioritize what's important to you. Music. Like, I'm starting this new online program now. Like, having to build all that out, and not to mention the other two online programs that I've walked away from, that I've spent about 300 hours collectively building them. I don't know. I just wake up and get it done. And I'm also willing to sacrifice things as well. So that's another thing. I believe that in this day and age, we're often told that we can have it all. Like, you know, girls are told they can have it all. They can be a career woman and a mum and this and that and single and do it all yourself. And you know, men are told that we can have it all. You honestly can't. Like, I'll give up sleep happily. I'll give up money happily to do what I want to do, or I will delay my income. Like, I don't mind. I will give up nights out. I'll give up social life or social opportunities for social. I'll give up holidays. I'll give up whatever I don't value for something I do value. Like, most people don't. Like, and so I don't know.
A lot of people are scared of missing out, aren't they? Scared of missing out a few drinks to the lads, or scared of missing a girls' night out, sort of thing.
And I think it's just prioritization, because really the stuff doesn't take long. I believe it's communication as well. Like, if you've got a beard, most lads are afraid to just be honest with the beard and just say, like, listen, music's a priority for me, and kickboxing and making money. So I need you to give me freedom to do these things, because if you don't, I will be a worse boyfriend. And I'm telling you that as a fact. I'll be worse for you. So I truly believe this. Now, clip this bit. You ready? Clip this. Right. I only thought of this like about 2 weeks ago, but in relationships, an unhappy man and a happy woman is not a happy relationship. A happy man and let's just say, but a happy man does equal a successful relationship, a happy relationship. So because generally men lead, if we're talking about, you know, women generally want to follow men, they want the man to be the leader in the relationship. Like, it's up to you to focus on, how can I be the best version of myself possible? How can I have me fitness, me health, me wealth, me mind, me body, or whatever in order, and be the best version of myself, because then that makes me wife happy. That makes me kids happy. Like, it's not being selfish. It's just making sure that you're being a proper leader for your relationship. Because It doesn't matter how many dishes that you do, how much hoovering that you do. At the end of the day, when you're just sitting there and you've got nothing going on and you got no fulfillment in life and your relationship's not going anywhere, it's not going to last. Like, I just believe that you've got to take ownership. You've got to be the best version of yourself in order for your missus and your kids to have the best life possible. Like, when they say happy wife, happy life, it's the complete opposite. It's happy man, happy relationship. That's the way it is. Because you look at all these relationships, I'm going off on one now. You look at all these relationships where the man's not happy, they always go off and they seek escapism elsewhere. They want to go out more, they want to do drugs, they want to drink more. I've teetered that edge a little bit myself. So, like, you've got to make sure that you've got your shit in order to be able to have a successful relationship. And I've told my missus that and she knows she's happier when I'm happier, because I'm less drama then. When I'm not able to do music, make money, train, like, I'm miserable. I'm miserable because it's something that I've done since I was so young. I've enjoyed music, I train, and I've done business for the last 10, 11 years. So if I'm not allowed to do any of that, then I'm just gonna be shit. She's not gonna be happy, and she's gonna end up dumping me. So it's like, let me be free and you'll be happy.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. That might be a little controversial. So a lot of people won't want to accept that, though.
I know. All I'm basically saying is, the reason, to come back to your original question 20 minutes ago about time, where'd you find the time? I just believe that, like, everyone's got the time. It's just that they need to stand up for themselves a little bit and their interests, and communicate that with the partner or friends or whoever, or the family. If someone's getting in the way of you doing the shit that's going to make you fulfilled, be vocal about it and stand for it, stand for something. But everyone's so afraid of getting dumped or not having mates, or, as you said, FOMO, fear of missing out, that they won't say it, and then they put their own passions to the back, and they've got plenty of time. Of course they have. They just don't prioritize communicating it to the people who are getting in the way and not letting them do it.
Mic drop. So you mentioned your new program, Natural Power. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm calling it the Physique Academy, and, like, the Natural Power will be a part of it. Yeah.
So we've had many conversations about this, about Natural Power, and how strong of a belief you are about it. Delve a little bit into the idea behind, obviously, you mentioned the physique, but then the Physique Academy, and then a little bit about the Natural Power. So, go on.
Sorry. Yeah, so it was originally going to be called the Natural Power Method. I'm changing it because my mentors told me to. My mentor said you need to basically have your offer, your service, describe the result that they're going to get. And Natural Power, you're going to build power naturally and strength naturally and muscle naturally in my program. But for someone who is uneducated on training, Natural Power, they might not correlate that with, me looking exactly how I want and having the physique I want. So I've got to name it based on the results that they're going to get. We spoke about that a lot as well. The people, what's the result that they're getting?
Yeah.
So it's going to be like 12-week Physique Academy, and then go into I'm not going to name it because I'm not fully set on the name yet. I'll tell you in person, but I'm not fully set. But I do like it. It's a good little name, and I don't want anyone to steal it. Okay. So
next week I'll be releasing a new academy. I'll let you know the name when I know it.
Yeah, when I tell you in the gym. So then it'll go into like a long-term program. And yeah, it's all based around building muscle naturally, because in this day and age in the fitness industry, like, I've got nothing against steroids, but everyone's on them. Like, a lot of people are on them, and that's fine. Like, I have trained with people on gear for the majority of my entire training experience. Like, family, my uncle was a professional bodybuilder. Like, of course, he's taken stuff around all that circle. And then, like, personal trainers who do bodybuilding and that, and strength stuff. And I love it because it makes me step up my game. But the problem is that everyone's afraid to actually say, oh yeah, like, I'm natural, and or that was achieved with steroids or this and that, because you get pushback. And the first time I started speaking out a little bit about what's natural and what's enhanced and steroids and all that, I did have a few trainers say to me, like, oh, is that about me? I'm like, no, it's not about you. But like, just because if you take amino acids, BCAAs, and then I talk about how BCAAs are shit, I'm not getting at you. Like, it's, if I'm talking about how steroids enhance your gains and strength and recovery like crazy, that's not a shot at anyone. It's just the reality. So, but there's a lot of lads out there who don't understand like the power of steroids and who don't understand the difference between what's achievable naturally and what's achievable with steroids. Like, so I am filling that void. I'm going to be, talking about that and how to actually make sure that there's no guesswork, because when you do take steroids, it can cover up like some mistakes within your training, and it can aid, it can still get your gains with imperfect training and imperfect strategies and little bit poorer nutrition. Now, what most people say, Gethin, is they'll say, oh yeah, but look, if you take steroids, there's plenty of people out there who take steroids who look like a bag of crap. And I totally agree. I've seen people who have taken gear who look like shit. But for the most part, if you take gear, you're going to build a lot more muscle than if you don't.
Yeah.
So that's where I come in, is helping people build muscle naturally without steroids. That's it.
And it's also the transparency, because you go on social media and a lot of females now, it's becoming a lot more popular within the female side of things. But people are that insecure of being honest to themselves and to their clients and to, I mean, even to family, friends, to be found out, instead of going, do you know what, I'm on it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing. I'm not, by the way, I'm just saying, if someone did.
Okay. I was trying to call you out there.
Damn. I was going already thinking that you're calling me out for being on steroids.
Gethin is on trend.
Too scared to be transparent and go, you know what, I'm on gear. This is what I left on gear.
Yeah.
This is the difference when I'm on gear, when I'm not on gear, and I'll document it properly for you. These are how I feel, and having more information behind it would help people. I had Shaun Aspinall on last week, and he mentioned about bodybuilding physiques in the female, and I said I don't know enough to comment, but what I've heard, it's not the best thing. I mean, and he has got a female going to be competing soon, and they're going to document it properly and show how they can still keep their period and everything going by doing it correctly.
Right.
And I was like, I will be invested in that because I don't know enough about it, and it's something I'd love to learn a little bit. I don't think I'd ever take anyone on to compete because, once again, don't know enough about it. But for me to actually change my mind on it, I'd be invested in, because obviously you hear all the bad side of things, and just the honesty side. As I say, you go on social media, and the first 5, 10, 15 posts, you'll probably see 5 or 6 of them probably are going to be people who claim, a lot of say claim that they're not, but you can clearly see. And
some people like just avoid the subject, and this is the thing as well. Like, you don't have to say with every single post, I'm on gear. No. And also, if a client takes steroids, like, I'm not against that, as long as it's their own decision. We live in a free world; they can do whatever they want. But like, okay, you don't have to say this client took steroids to get this transformation. But and I also understand as well that if everyone did start saying, I got this result by taking gear, a lot of people would judge and go, oh, they look like that because they take gear. So the people who are uneducated on it, like, don't understand it. It still takes hard work. I understand, like, if someone's taking steroids and they look crazy, I know that they're putting in the hard work. I often know that they're training harder, like when they're on stuff, because you can push harder. So, like, it's so a lot of the time people are just afraid to speak out because it discredits the hard work. That's all. So I'm not coming at it from a negative perspective either. I'm coming at it from an educational perspective of what's achievable naturally, not calling out people on gear. Although I might add that as a little series on my YouTube channel, do like a little natty or not series for, the popular, like Mike O'Hearn. Have you seen him? He says he's natural, and he's like,
I saw a thing about him the other day, actually.
Yeah, he's jacked. He's like 50 odd, and he's getting bigger. And he says he's natural.
There's a competitor, a natural competitor that will hopefully I'll get on. Shaun Goatee, I think his name is.
Okay, I think Dee might have mentioned him.
Yeah, he's from Newcastle. So that'll be an few interesting conversations with him, because he is very anti-drugs, very, very against them, and he's very natural. And he also has bipolar as well. So the difference in his stories from 1 minute in the morning to the next is incredible, and the journey behind it is just mental, to be honest with you.
Okay, that'll be interesting. That I believe not enough people spend long enough naturally as well. Like a lot of people hop on gear too quick before they've optimized. Yeah, before they've optimized the nutrition and training. I was close to getting on it as well, and I was like, wait there, I'm not even trying. My nutrition's terrible, my training's terrible. Let me actually just try. And then when I realized, oh yeah, I can get gains naturally, I was like, yeah, I don't need gear.
You mentioned a YouTube page there.
Yeah.
So the best way I can describe it is controversial but funny. It's educational as well, but slight slip of controversial.
Yeah.
And the one that you did today.
Oh yeah.
I've not watched the full episode yet, but the caption, the headline, where does all this come from?
£300 and starving at Tess Holiday anorexic. It's mad, isn't it? If you go back on my YouTube channel, I just used to do them. It all started with have you ever heard of that Chanel Hayes? Have you ever heard of her? She's like one of these Z-lister celebrities in
I've seen on your Instagram a photo.
Yeah, that's it. I remember like Becky saved a Loose Women episode, and she's like, "You need to see this. You'll love this." And she was going on about like just stupid shit about like weight loss and all that. And I remember going, "Oh, I'll have to do a video to this." So I set up my laptop in front of the telly and just pressed play and pause and just commentated over it, and was just made a few jokes and all that, and then put it up on Facebook, and it got loads of shares and loads of likes dead quick. So then I just done another one, and then done another and another, and I built quite fast to like 1,000 subscribers, like quite quick. And then started making a little bit of money from YouTube as well, and I was like, oh my god, this is brilliant. So, but then I stopped it. The honest reason why I stopped it is because I was running the group training, and we honestly, right, I don't care now, but we honestly had a few snowflakes on the groups who didn't like it. And then Becky would say to me stuff like, "Oh, I don't think you should be putting that content up because people on the groups might not like it. We might get cancellations." And because we would get cancellations, I'd be like, "Oh." So I was battling this thing of like, okay, and it's another reason why I stopped music. So I stopped music and then stopped putting out content like that was educational and slightly funny, because that's just me. Like just be for other people, because I was scared of like getting cancellations at the gym. So yeah, like I'm over that now. Now I'm back into it. I'm going to slightly change my content as well, more towards like muscle building, natty or not, strength training commentary. So I move away from like the whole fat acceptance, body positivity stuff. That's just funny, easy stuff. But I want to change my demographic to men, but it's going to take a while because my audience was built so long ago. It's going to take a while to switch it all over.
Redial it all up,
yeah.
So I mentioned then I've been through your Instagram. How did the Ninja Warriors application go?
Oh yeah, that was so good. The Ninja Warrior. Yeah. When was that? Was that 2016 or something?
2016, yeah.
Yeah. I was doing like loads of trampoline stuff, and I've always just once again been into like the athletic stuff, crazy box jumps. I was doing rock climbing at the time. I was back into my martial arts, and I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to go for it. So I applied, went down for the audition, and done quite good. We had to do, it was something like 6 different things. We were put in groups, and I remember, have you ever watched Ninja Warrior? Like there was on like the first couple series, there was this guy, and he was always on every series. He was a little guy. He was mixed race with glasses that were that thick, dead thick glasses, bald head, and his shoulders were like this wide, and he was just dead small and that, and dead geeky. And he used to get through every time, but he was crap. So I used to think to myself, well, I'm good, I'll get through. And he was in my group, and I was like, I've seen you on the last few series. And he's like, oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, we had to do all the stuff. I smashed everything apart from, there was one thing. There was one thing I couldn't do. It was like a grip test thing, but everything else I was really good at and like dominated. We even had to stand in front of a camera and talk, and I felt really good with that. But yeah, I didn't get through, and then that guy got through again. But he couldn't complete anything. But it was because he couldn't complete anything, and because he was quite geeky and nerdy that he got through. I was like, oh my god! And because I was just kind of good, but there was nothing probably too crazy about me. I needed to probably get on camera and act up a little bit more. So yeah, I didn't get through, and I was going to go through it again, but once again, business took over my life.
I applied just before lockdown last year to go on Tipping Point.
Yeah, what's Tipping Point again?
The one where that you put like the slots, like the arcade sort of thing.
Oh yeah. I love the
questions. So I had to go to one of the hotels in Liverpool to do the audition. We had the question. Got 15 questions or something, and they were all dead easy questions. There was 6 or 7 that were just football questions or sport questions. And I was like, okay. Yeah, every single one right. Standing in front of the camera, melted.
Yeah, it's hard. It is hard.
But now, if I was stood on the camera, I'd be fine.
Yeah. But so what did you do? Reenact it for me.
I just say your name and where you're from and why you think what you do the money, where you're from, and there was another question: why they should pick you or something, or something your biggest achievement or something.
Okay.
And I just said that I did the Great North Run in a great time because I did. But now I think I'd changed that up a little bit. I think my greatest achievement is getting blocked by what was it? There's a few little companies that have blocked me on Instagram, so I think that's one of my biggest achievements. Is Schmerble Life teas and all this.
Yeah, what's your greatest achievement? Being hated online.
But yeah. And
so was it like a confidence thing as well? Like you obviously got more confidence now as well, haven't you?
But we went into lockdown 2 weeks later, which obviously gutted about. And I applied for the Cube a couple of weeks ago. So that's the one I've said that I will win. I think I've got the nerve for it because I've played darts and stuff. So I think I'll keep it cool there.
That's false.
So we've got a few questions that have come in. It was quite a few questions.
Okay, yeah. What, like quick fire type thing, or
can you build muscle in a calorie deficit?
Yes, but it depends. Okay. So yeah, the research shows that if you're a beginner, and I was literally doing a presentation on this for my program yesterday, so it's quite fresh in my mind. Yeah, so there's research out there. If you're a beginner, you can build muscle in a calorie deficit as long as your protein is high enough. So you can probably still get away with building muscle with a moderate protein amount, but you generally need a higher amount of protein. You're talking between 1 gram and 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So anything after that, like you get no additional body composition benefits. As an intermediate, you can also build muscle, but you need to be around maintenance. So it's harder as an intermediate to build muscle in a calorie deficit, but you can build muscle at maintenance as long as your protein's high once again. So yeah, you can do. But it just depends. Also, one other additional thing as well is if you've got a lot of weight to lose as a beginner, or so you got a lot of weight to lose, you can be in a calorie deficit because your body's got enough fuel from the fat stores to be able to still prioritize muscle gain. And the final one is being detrained as well. So assuming that your training's been crap or you haven't trained for a while, and then you get back into it with a calorie deficit, once again, as long as your protein's high, you will be able to build muscle in a deficit. Yeah. So that those 3 different things: beginner, detrained, and overweight.
Fair enough. Very, very straight to the point as well. What books have quite a cliche thing, have changed your life sort of thing?
Okay, let's have a little look. I've got like me things here, me books right here. What one's going to jump out at me? Changed me life.
Or been the biggest impact for you?
Oh, okay. Training or business or just general life?
Let's go one of each, and one on mindset.
Okay. Do you mind me standing up one sec?
No, go on.
Let me have a little look at this. I've got different ones here. There's too many.
That focus on the camera focus on the microphone now is incredible.
Oh yeah, that's good. Need to get the biceps out. Okay. Yeah, this is hard. I'd say, right, okay, training wise, I'll show you a really good one. This is a good one. Where is it? Max Muscle, yeah. So Brad Schoenfeld, this is a really good one for training. If anyone hasn't checked this out, he's recently brought out a new book, but this took me clients training and my understanding is that, get that focused. Max Muscle Plan by Brad Schoenfeld. That really took me training knowledge to a new level. Also, actually, another good training one, if you want to check this out. Where is it? It's just called Powerlifting. Where is it? There, that one.
I think
that one.
You've shown me this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've shown you that one. That really helped me understand lifting a little bit more. Powerlifting by Dan Austin. Yeah, so they were really good for me training. With regards to mindset, I'll tell you what's a good one, right? It's nothing crazy, but this by Grant Cardone, the 10x rule. Have you heard of Grant Cardone?
That's on my wish list in Audible.
Yeah, that's really good. It's more so just like a mindset and a philosophy. It's, as I say, it's nothing crazy, but it got me thinking that your goals need to be bigger than what they are. Like simply saying, I want 2 new clients is not good enough because your action will represent the goal. Yeah. So by saying, I want 20 clients, you will take a bit like more action. And even if you get halfway there, you know, and you end up with 10 clients, it's still a really good result. So that was a really good book. I'm just trying to think. Let me pick one more for you. I'll go with Good to Great. 4 Hour Work Week was really good. 4 Hour Work Week. These two. This one and this. 4 Hour Work Week, and then I found this random one, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. See that focusing. There we go.
Think Rich, Get Rich.
Yeah, Think Rich to Get Rich, by F. Harv Eker, and then 4 Hour Work Week as well. That just really kind of gets you thinking a little bit more about money and your relationship with money and how much like the beliefs as a kid around money affect your beliefs now. Like, you know, certain things like, oh, the rich only get rich from being tight and stuff. Like, you need to shed those beliefs, and then that really teaches you to. I'll tell you, one of the best lessons from this right now for mindset, business, whatever, is anytime that you're worrying or stressing, or have you read it? Yeah. So you might
remember 2 or 3 times on the Audible on that.
Okay. So you might remember this one. Anytime that you're stressing over something, real, like, think about it objectively. And if that thing happens, how bad will your life be destroyed on a scale of 1 to 10? So let's say it's losing clients. Like, let's say you lost every single client. I'm worrying, I'm stressing about losing every single client. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would that truly, truly affect your life? Often those things that you build up in your head only come out to like a 2 or 3 or maybe a 4 on the destructive scale. You know what I mean? So it's like you realize, oh, even if this happens, it's not actually going to be that bad. Like, nothing ever really comes out to a 10 on the scale of destruction. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember how he explains it properly, but that stuck with me a lot. So it helped me just rationalize sometimes things that I was stressing about a lot. So yeah.
One of the things I learned from that was to check my emails twice a day, and not waste all day checking emails, checking WhatsApp, checking emails, checking WhatsApps. And that's why I've put all my notifications on any social media off. And it was from this book, because I was constantly, if someone messaged me, I'd be there ready to reply. By turning them off, I check social medias when I want to now, not when. Do you know what I mean? And that's
when it happens.
And that's the same when I switch off at night. You don't get an email. All my emails and stuff are off as well. And I'll check them in the morning. I'll check them again in the afternoon. And if it's very important, someone will ring me.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they'll text me. Text and WhatsApps are still on, sort of thing, but the rest of it is not on notifications. And that's one of the biggest things, because it just freed up so much more time.
Yeah, yeah.
It freed up. I mean, replying to 10 messages in 4, 5, 6 minutes twice a day is better than replying at a constant pace throughout the day, and that's what I got from it more than anything.
That's been a constant theme in the gym as well with some of the coaches who were online. I know you know that as well.
Yeah.
Like people just trying to manage the time. Ties back into what we were saying before. People just need to manage the time better rather than trying to constantly do stuff throughout the day. It's just a lot, a certain time to it. I have 2 hours of business building a day, 2-3 hours, and it's just structured. And even if I'm not finished, Jordan, I stop, and then I go and have my food then, or go and do my training. And then when my business build hours come back, I go back to it. So rather than trying to build throughout the day and then have me tea and relationship and this and that and all in one bucket, is you just enter this bucket, deal with it, step out of it. Move into the next bucket, deal with it, step out of it.
And it's a conversation I've had with a couple in the gym, to be fair, because it's about expectance, what the clients expect from you as well. And all my clients know that when I'm with them 100%.
Yeah.
And they know that it's the same as a shop window. If a shop is closed, you're not going to knock the door and bang the door till they open. Yeah. The shop is closed, sort of thing. And it's the same with the business, because if I still reply to messages 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, when does it stop?
And it's not good.
I'd say some of the PTs in the gym was saying, I mean, they'll stay up until silly o'clock replying because they've got clients at different side of the world and stuff like that. And I was like, well, so do I, but I give them a time slot of when I'm available for them if they want to jump on a call, it's just, as you say, freeing up time and making time work for you.
The mentorships that I'm on as well, I can't reach them at any time. It's because I'm a firm believer you've got to respect your own time first. They respect their time. If I send them a message, they're probably not going to get back to me. And even no matter how upset I am, I knew that when I was signing up.
Yeah,
I can't be upset at them.
And it's also about there's a lot about automations and stuff as well, wasn't it? Which I kind of got. I was like, yeah, that's quite a clever one. And some of it I was like, I'm not too sure of that, especially yet.
A quick little tip that I remember one of my mentors always teaching me this was eliminate, automate, delegate in that order. So eliminate what you really, truly don't need in terms of work, automate what you can, and then delegate the rest. And that's how you build business.
Yeah. Biggest mistake people do when they want to build muscle.
Switching.
Let's say it's a beginner who wants to build muscle quick. He's like, I want to build muscle when I'm big muscle. So, I mean, he's got 8-9 weeks. He's on holiday with all the lads, sort of thing. He's trying to build muscle really quick. What's the biggest mistake?
Switching programs too fast. Like if you're only giving yourself, say, 3 months to build muscle, understand that 3 months usually is the minimum. Let's say you do 3 months worth of training, then stop. You will revert back to your original state. Like it's the case of beginners. So stopping and starting is one of the worst things that beginners can do. Secondly is switching programs, because it's like learning to ride a bike. You need to do it a lot to get good at it. People just think about this muscle confusion. Oh, one day I'll do bench press. The next week I'll do pec flies. The next day I'll do press ups. Next thing I'll do this 300 Henry Cavill Superman workout. You just need to stick with select exercises and get good at them. I've literally done a video on this yesterday for my program, talking about you need to stop switching from program to program. I don't want to hear, I'm bored, I've done this for 4 weeks. It happens a lot with a lot of online coaches, and then they switch the program around for the clients because the client's bored, but the client doesn't know what's best for the client, or the lad doesn't know what's best for the lad. If you want to go on holiday to Ibiza, one workout routine and do the best at that workout routine and make each week more and more intense and build the volume up, and that's it. There's nothing special. Just stop switching programs. Stop saying I'm bored. Just get stronger at a select few exercises, and that's it.
Yeah, you see it quite a lot, and I've experienced it. People online, especially over lockdown, I kind of gave a little bit more, I wouldn't say sympathy, but I was like, okay, sort of thing. I mean, you're
Yeah,
stuck
I
in your living
understand
room,
lockdown.
you're jumping around, or you got a kettlebell swinging. I mean, it wasn't the best. Um,
Yeah, I understand that. Like lockdown's a bit different.
so this is a two-part question. Been sent in. To be fair, what's the most calories you personally have been on whilst bulking, and what's the least calories you've been on whilst cutting?
Yeah, bulking was 4,700, 4,005, 4,700. That was when I was doing 56 sessions a week, and my days were hectic. Like I think I said to you before, I used to do 8 sessions morning, 8 sessions in the evening, non-stop. So, yeah, so I could get away with 4,500, and that was my weight stabilized as well, which was crazy. So I wasn't even really gaining. If anything, was gaining very slowly. 4,700, and then, I mean, when I was dieting in 2019, getting rid of the fat and flubber off me, I went some days as low as like 900. Just
Was
done
that
like a super
on?
low day, but
Was that on purpose? Was that was just
yeah,
busy?
just
Or,
like I sometimes feel that like if you're feeling really good that day and like you feel like you've got the willpower to do it, like yeah, taper back a little bit as long as you know that you're not going to binge or overeat the next day. So you've got to really know yourself and know your own weaknesses inside and out. I wouldn't recommend beginners to do that, but I know that look, if I have a low calorie day today, I'm probably going to be more hungry tomorrow. But I
yeah.
was doing like I was floating between about like 1,700 and 2,000 daily. So that's okay. Like, so I dip into like 900 or 1,000 even there. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the lads in the gym today. So he's in a cutting phase now, and I said, how many calories are you on a day?" And he goes, "At the most 1,200." But
Yeah,
yesterday I hit 500. I
I
was
know
like,
who you're on about.
"Yeah,"
Give me the
and
tea.
then there was no one upstairs, and I caught him flexing in the mirror with his top off. Um, and then he just put his hat a bit over his head. But
You know,
500 calories. My breakfast this morning would have been 900,000
yeah.
calories.
And the trainer who you're talking about does about 150 sessions a week.
Yeah.
That's how you
And I
do it.
said to him, "Do you know what? I've got so much respect for you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
much respect for just the mindset and the mentality behind it." And he
Mm,
said to me that he's going to be very miserable for the next 12 weeks. He's
yeah.
6 weeks in and he's not quite got there yet.
No, no,
Um,
no, no.
and
We're talking about Dave.
yes, Dave.
Dave, yeah, we love Dave.
And I just said to him, "Listen, I've got so much respect for you. So
Yeah,
much respect to be able to have 500 calories." I mean,
yeah, especially with his workload and once again family and all that. Like Dave, he's got that mentality where he would rather just do it fast and get it done. And I'm a little bit the same when we're going to Ibiza, me and Chris, in when September or August is it? So it's like I'm going to do a sharp 10-week cut and get 2 stone off in 10 weeks. But I'd rather do it like that rather than like in 2019, I dieted over like an 8-10 month period,
yeah.
quite long and drawn out. This time I'm just going to get it off fast if I can.
What fights would you like to see in the UFC?
Oh, what fights in the UFC? Oh, that's a good question. Well, I mean, I'd like to state the obvious of seeing John Jones go to heavyweight. I mean, wouldn't we also? I'd love to see John Jones versus Ngannou. That'd be like, that'd
Yeah.
be brilliant. Go through the divisions. Jan Blachowicz versus who's he going to be fighting soon?
Glover Teixeira.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
Glover.
that's
But
September.
who else is in the wings though? Who else is in the wings with that? Oh, yeah,
Jury.
yeah, yeah, Judy. The other Pole, he's Polish, isn't he?
Slovakian.
Slovak. Okay, I'd like
So,
to see them
so,
too.
so his nickname, I think, is the Slovakian Butcher.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
And after his win a few weeks ago, yeah,
yeah,
because
he looked good.
they pronounce it in a Slovakian, so but someone translated it and put it on Twitter saying, "Wait a minute, this says the Slovakian Butcher."
Right.
And
Okay. Yeah.
obviously his
Yeah.
win, I was like, "Geez, yeah, that'd be scary, scary fight."
Yeah.
Um,
He just keeps going forward. I think the most exciting matchups definitely are around like lightweight. middleweight's quite interesting as well. Luke Rockhold's potentially coming back. Maybe like Luke Rockhold versus a top 5. See where his mentality is at, because at one point he was brilliant, and then he just got a bit flat-footed. Who's in the lightweight division right now? We got Dustin, we got Connor, we got.
Do you know what? I'd love to see Gaethje versus Chandler.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Both are AAA wrestlers. Both just love to stand and bang. Both on very, very similar stylistic. I think that would be a good matchup to.
Who do you think wins out of Chandler and Connor?
I think Connor beats Chandler, but Chandler beats Poirier.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if Poirier beats Connor next time round. I think.
Do you think he's going to make the adjustments?
Well, I was listening to I think it was Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about it. I think Gordon Ryan mentioned that. I think it was Gordon Ryan. It was on a podcast anyway. They said that John Cavan is now back the boss, not Connor.
Okay, good.
So this was a bit GSP. It was on Joe Rogan. He said John Cavan is now back the boss, so he turns up when he says, not when Connor turns up.
Right, good.
And they do what John says, not what Connor wants. Because for the last couple of years, he's been doing, when he turns up, the family have been all there watching him spar and wrestle and stuff. And all that is now gone, and it's just John and Connor again, sort of thing. So
it's hard to be. I've seen Connor tweet saying that, it's hard to be daddy with giving cuddles whilst, and I get that, because I know we're talking about fighting right now, but like a conversation I've been having over the last few weeks is I feel a little bit civilized with me boy. Like I've lost me aggression. I was saying that, like I believe, you need that hunger. You need that animal to hunt with that animalistic mentality, the fire in your belly that gets you up early, that makes you go to bed late. The what?
The wise.
Yeah. Like I feel like I've lost that a little bit. I've lost that hunger and that drive, that animalistic nature of being a go-getter. And it's because when I'm here doing work and then I go down and I see his little face, I'm like, yeah. And then half an hour's gone and I'm like, shit, I haven't done that work. Like, so it's trying to get that back. And especially in the fight game, you see it happen sometimes. Fighters, they have kids and, they're fighting for, they're a little bit more comfortable and they're not as hungry in the cage anymore.
Look at Cerrone. He's 0-6 in his last 6 fights.
Well, when he first had his kids, he was looking good, wasn't he, for the first 2-3 fights? And everyone was saying Daddy Cerrone back reinvented. But yeah, Weidman was another example. He won the title and then he had kids and he was constantly talking about fighting for his kids. And then he's the same.
But the same with Whittaker when he quit the sand dunes and said he needs to go home and see his kids. I mean, it's a.
But then again, Whittaker's just had another kid and he's looking better than ever. Whittaker's like a little anonymous. He's one of my favourites.
Well, he said in an interview not long ago, he now trains when he wants to train. Not so he has family time and train. It's not just train and burn himself out. He now he's got a better routine, and it's like a reinvented Whittaker, and I think he's more dangerous than ever at the moment. And I'm big gutted that he's not having the Adesanya fight first, even though I understand why he said he's not ready. But Martin Vittori, I mean, I hope he gets absolutely starched, because he doesn't deserve to be in that ring. And if his nutritionist is listening to this, because I know he listens to a lot of my podcast, I cannot wait to see Adesanya get his hand raised.
Oh, shots fired.
And I've also said, and I'll say it again, Adesanya versus Till. Stylistically, Till beats him.
Do you think? Yeah.
Because it's that Muay Thai kickboxing match. It's not a grappling. It's not going to go to the ground. It's the stand-up.
To be fair, to answer your question, what matchups you'd like to see? I would like to see Till versus Adesanya. I really would. I think because Till's got that weird, he's almost like, he's a little bit like Adesanya in a weird way. He feints a lot and he's very unpredictable and he makes himself big in the cage and he is difficult to hit. So interesting.
Well, there's a lot of rumors of UFC London, August the 14th Till versus Brunson on the main card.
Oh, I might have to go. Oh no, when? August what?
14th.
Oh, I'm in Ibiza.
And
That'll be Boston.
I don't know how much of this is true, but I've seen on Twitter, so I'm going to source it as Twitter before I get anything. But could be a Tom Aspinall on the card as well.
Ooh, nice.
And the only fight that makes sense for me, and I don't know if anything is confirmed, anything like that before anyone says anything, but for the fight I'd like to see there is Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blades. It's the fight that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because everyone else seems to be matched up, and if he wants to push into that top 10, 11, Curtis Blade is the next person, because you've got the likes of Rosenstruck, Cyril Gane, you've got all them all matched up.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
I think Tom's got a good shot. I think he looks really good. He moves like a light heavyweight, if not a middleweight. He moves like a middleweight.
I'd love to see him against Shaun Jones, and I know it's a really far-fetched thing, but stylistically, both very, very similar in their light movements. And I think we'll see Paddy the Baddy doing his UFC debut in London.
He's signed, hasn't he?
He's signed, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Molly McCann's fighting and all them, so there's a few good cards. I will be honest, hotel is already booked, so just waiting on for tickets to come out now.
Have you actually booked the hotel?
Yeah.
Oh.
30 quid.
That's boss. So you've got the little inside rumours, so you're ahead of the game.
Well, I'm just waiting now. Like I say, it was straight when I saw Till versus thing, and then I saw the lockdown restrictions open. I was like, wait a minute, this is making a little sense here. So I just went on booking.com and reserved the room just in case.
Just a room for one, is it? Just yourself?
No. I'll probably take my little brother with me. Well, I will be taking my little brother.
Yeah.
Because it's his birthday a week before, so it makes sense.
That's a good birthday present.
And we were supposed to go
to that.
We were supposed to go UFC London last year, obviously 3 days before we went into lockdown, didn't we? So
yeah. The UFC Liverpool was good. That was a good night.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get another one of them.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
I don't know what, I'm looking forward for the boxing to come around again.
Yeah.
I think we, like I say, a good night. Not good night and just chill out. And it's just a weird thing. How many people will be in there, and it's like, who gets tickets first, and it's just a bit of no one actually knows what's going on.
Hopefully, we're not getting shut down again with the Indian variant.
Yeah, there's something today about don't go to Bolton. I could have told you that before this variant went there. Last but not least, where can people find you? So plug away as much as you want, pretty much.
So follow me on Instagram, at Shaun J Fitness. You can type in on YouTube Shaun Jones or Shaun Jones Fitness. I've got my YouTube channel there. I upload twice a week on that, like Thursday, Sunday. Going to be taking that to 3-4 times a week soon. You can, once again, Facebook, just type in Shaun Jones Fitness. If you want to follow any of my music stuff, it's Dynamic Hip Hop. So just type that in on YouTube, Dynamic Hip Hop, or Dynamic on Spotify. What else? Or Dynamic Hip Hop on Instagram. And they're the main things, really, yeah. So fitness stuff, if you're a skinny lad, you want to build muscle, get at me on Shaun J Fitness. Got me 12-week physique program. And if you just want to hear some sick scouse, raw passion rap, check out Dynamic Hip Hop.
Shaun, been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, thank you very much, Gethin. Appreciate it. Hey, and look, before we go, you smashed it as well. You smashed it. You got the podcast. You've been super consistent with it. You got started as a PT during lockdown. We're out of lockdown. You're absolutely flying. So, just kudos. You say kudos. Hats off to you. You've smashed it.
We're doing all right. And as I say, we are currently in the Apple charts. So if you are listening on an Apple phone, stick a 5-star review. And let's get back to that top 100, because we're 156th at the moment. A lot of other podcasts will say, it's all about visibility. It's not. I want to get back in them charts. So I'll be honest with you.
No, you'll do it. Just keep going.
Shaun, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Gareth. Appreciate it.